Hi there. Okay, so let's move forward with the narrative aspects of creating our scene. Now, in the last lecture, we created this character bio, and now we're going to expand on this, and we're going to take the elements that I've underlined here, and we're going to sort of build some small visual list of objects that we want to create that we think will add narrative and interest and make it feel quite unique to the character that lives there, which will in turn make the place feel unique when the player arrives at that location. So I've started doing some little concepts here, and I even did a little concept of the guy. Now, I'm not a character artist by any stretch, and like I said, it's just a concept. It's just a rough image of how I imagined he might look, but a character artist will pull that apart and do a much better job than I've done there. I mean, he looks too stiff. He's not, he could be a lot better, basically. But what I'm more interested in as an environment artist is all the little elements that we want to create and build. And you can see all these features here that I've sort of sketched out. We can build them as 3D objects, and we can texture them and add them to the existing scene and make it really unique and really interesting. And this is just scratching the surface. We can add a lot more than this. You can see down here I've got this little tent thing which will be quite cool, and I'm going to build this next to the hut so we can store things and keep them dry. I'll put a back on it as well or something and make it a bit more enclosed, but it's just a place where you can put all his rocks, his stones, his tools, some elements that he wants to keep dry and safe away from the elements, basically. And if he's traveling around this forest, he needs something to carry his rocks in when he comes back. And I've kind of designed this makeshift wheelbarrow thing which he can take with him. He's actually made it himself. I've got notes all over these elements that I can use when I come to actually building the objects. And other objects that I haven't even drawn yet, which I'm going to draw. Traps, cooking equipment, more stone storage. You might have lots of different types of boxes and hunting trophies like we discussed before, bones and trinkets hanging off here. And we've talked about, the wolves that are around the place. We might build some sort of barriers that will keep them away. All made out of local materials, stuff he's found in the woods, or he's chopped down trees, branches that he's sort of bound together to make these sort of barriers. Some lean-to ones, some vertical ones, and a bunch of equipment and tools that he uses when he goes off on his little rock hunting trips, if you like. And I'm going to do like a little seating area, maybe build a table as well, and make the outside part a bit more interesting as opposed to just having nothing there, which it is at the moment. And I think we can make it look really interesting. So the next stage after this is to create a list. Just like we did before, create a list of objects that we want to build, and a list of objects that we want to create going forward. So in the next lecture, I'm going to show you my list, and I'm going to show you some of the objects I've built. So I hope you're finding that interesting. It's all elements that he would have built, he would have put there, and he uses to do his little job. If your scene is the same, then you can use the same ideas. If you're creating your own scene, come up with some really cool, interesting objects and make it interesting. And also, don't forget, you can collect reference material off the internet. You don't have to just stick with sketches like I've done there. In fact, you should do this for reference material, if nothing else. There's plenty you can use online. I'm showing you this website because Pixabay is a royalty-free image website, so you can use them without any problems if you want to. But you don't want to put these into your work. You just want to use them for reference, and there's plenty of sort of reference for forests and rocks and different things. If you type anything up here, you'll generally find it on Pixabay. Although if you type it into Google, you'll find a lot more, obviously. But like I say, don't rip off other people's work. Just look at them, just use them for reference. That's fine. So, I hope you found that interesting. If you've got to this stage, I hope you're doing this because it will, just add that extra flavour to your scene. So I look forward to seeing what you've done. Okay, so I will see you in the next lecture.